Hi geometry, welcome back. In this video, we'll be going over the solutions to example 1, which is shown on the screen. I know that you might not have access to a printer, but I encourage you to draw out the diagram and label it as seen, and then go ahead and fill in the solutions. So I've gone ahead and written down the 5 properties of a parallelogram on the side of my paper here just so that I have them to reference. So let's go ahead and take a look at example 1a. So I've got a parallelogram drawn, and I know it's a parallelogram because um, I've got opposite sides that are parallel, and we can see that because I've got arrows pointing in the same direction of my opposite sides. So that tells me that opposite sides are parallel, which makes it a parallelogram. And one of the properties of a parallelogram is that opposite sides are also congruent. So if DC is 9, that means AB must also be 9. If BC is 8, that means AD is also 8. So we can go ahead and fill in those blanks. Okay, let's take a look at B. So I've got another parallelogram here, and they give me the measure of one angle. Well, one of the other properties of a parallelogram is that opposite sides are congruent. So if angle P is 70, that means angle R is also 70 degrees. And then the fourth property is that adjacent angles are supplementary. So that means P and Q are going to be supplementary angles. And so supplementary means they add to 180. So we can just do 180 minus 70 and we'll get 110. So that means angle Q must be 110 degrees, which means angle S also has to be 110 degrees because it is opposite Q. Okay. For example, 1C, we're going to apply the property that the diagonals in a parallelogram bisect each other. Be careful with that one because it just tells us that the diagonals cut each other in half. It doesn't tell us that the diagonals are congruent to each other. So that means if Vx is 3, Tx must also be 3, so the whole thing would measure 6 if you were being asked that. Okay, and then example 1D is very similar to B. So we know that if D is 105 degrees, angle B must also be 105 degrees. And then B and A would be supplementary angles because they are right next to each other. They are adjacent angles. So 180 minus 105 is 75. And since angle C is opposite of A, it would be congruent. Okay, thanks for watching. Go ahead and try example 2.